I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm Jonathan Marshall, and I'm talking about when waiting turns into worship. David talks in Psalms the 40th chapter, and he says it like this. He said, I waited patiently on the Lord. David says, He inclined unto me, He heard my cry. David begins to tell us in Psalms the 40th chapter about his episode of waiting on God. I learned in my personal life is that I'm an individual who really does not like to wait on anything. I learned in my life that by being an American citizen, if we were to really look over our lives, we really don't have to wait on anything. Not only do we not wait on anything, we don't have the patience to wait on anything. And then we come into Christendom and we start serving the Most High Yahweh Jehovah God, who is not moved by our emotions and who will make us wait. Oh my God, there were times in my life where I went to God and I asked God for stuff and He didn't tell me yes, He didn't tell me no, He told me to wait. Oh my God, this brought on a level of frustration and anxiety, and it made me wish almost that He had said no. Because when He told me yes, it gave me instant access. And when He told me no, I knew where I stood. But the moment He said wait, it means that I had to wait until He gave me permission to access what I was asking for. It's likened to a child who your parents just went grocery shopping and there's cupcakes in the refrigerator or some Oreo ice cream in the refrigerator. There's some Rice Krispie treats in the cabinet. There is some sweets in the cabinet, and you ask your mama and your papa, you say, can I have it? And they tell you, wait. You can't phantom in your little mind what are you waiting on, because it's already in the refrigerator and it's already yours, but they're telling you to wait. If you're not careful, you will become so infatuated on what you're waiting on, or you will become so infatuated with the creature that you will forget that it is not the creature that you need, it's the Creator. Break it down in layman terms, Jonathan. You'll be so infatuated with the car that you're asking God to give you, and you'll forget about it is God that's going to give you the car. That's why Paul says, be anxious for nothing, but with everything through prayer and supplication. I made up in my mind that I was going to start telling God about what I need. I believe in faith doctrine. I believe that you have to name it and claim it and say it is to be so. But I also believe that God heard me the first time I prayed. I believe wholeheartedly when I told God my needs that He already had the knowledge of what I needed. I'm not going to keep telling God what I don't have, because He, being my heavenly Abba Father, knows what I need. I made up in my mind in this situation that I was going to keep my mouth closed and just worship. Remember being in Savannah, Georgia on Waters Avenue. I was with a boy named David Jones. And oh my God, there was a boy who jumped off a bike and he came behind me and David. And David had at the time had on a Coogee sweater and a herringbone. And I had a wallet with a lot of money on it because I was making tips from the barber shop. As soon as the boy jumped off the bike behind me and David, the first thing he told me and David was, he said, stick your hands up where I could see him. Oh my God, the only thing I remember seeing was a black pistol. The pistol was enough for me. Oh my God, I put my hands up because the hands up was, the hands in the air showed the boy that we were in His mercy. It's the same thing when it comes to God, baby. When you go into the house of God, or when you go into your secret closet and you lift your hands, you just tell God, I can't do this without you. I don't know about you, but baby, I made it over to 2011 and I realized that there are battles that I don't necessarily want to fight. Made it over to 2011 and I made up in my mind that there are adventures and assignments that I don't want to do by myself. So what I'm learning how to do is I'm just lifting my hand What I was taught as a child is that you can get more out of God worshiping Him than begging Him any day. I'm not telling Him the same prayers over and over. God, I need a car. God, I need a job. God, I need a man. God, I need a wife. God, I need a computer. God, I need this. God, I did this. I'm changing my position to prayer and worship. The Bible says in the book of John that the hour cometh, and now is. The hour cometh in my life that I'm changing my position from worrying and anxiety just to worship. Oh my God, because when I lift my hands and the tears flow down my face, it tells God that I am no longer in control. It tells God that if you don't move on my behalf, I will not make it. My worship shows God that if you don't do what you said you were going to do, I will not make it. That's why the Bible says that a prideful heart cannot stand in the presence of God. That's why the Bible says a humble child tastes the grace. Because I have to be so at a place of humility that I say, God, if you don't help me, then I will not be helped. That's why I learned, baby, that you can't put your hope and trust in men. Because men will fail you. Don't you understand that there were people who said they will always be there for you? There were people who said that they will always love you. And at the sign of the first fallout, where are they now? But what I love about God is that I can mess up with God. And I can go back to Him and say, God, I'm sorry. And the Bible says He is faithful and just to cleanse me from all righteousness. And then after that, I can depend on God. The old folks used to say, I can depend on God. And they would say, through the storm and the rain. That's why I'm learning in this life that you don't have to respond to everything. That's why I'm learning in this life that you don't have to fight all your battles. Sometimes you just got to lift your hands in humility and just begin to lift Him up above your problems. The songwriter declared, oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt His name together. When you magnify something, you make it bigger than what it actually is. It doesn't change the size of what it is. It just makes it bigger in your perception. And I made up in my mind in 2011 that I'm going to make God big.